Words. Blood and guts!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cruising with Kayfabe. I'm Jeff,
And I'm Rachael.
and today we have Josh and Emily, fresh from coming off of the Blood and Guts show. So we wanted to bring them in and find out about that experience because, a lot of times they don't really get as much experience out there with the live shows. So we always want to get them on the show and get what their experiences were. So welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for having us, Jeff. Appreciate it. I also appreciate having less responsibility this one.
Yeah, you gotta love that,
I do.
right?
Thank you for having us on. It's not always we get to talk about our experiences fresh.
Freshly squeezed experiences.
Exactly. Well, and that's why we wanted to bring you on today because we know a lot of times you guys like to hear everybody else's and get them on there. So we wanted to do the same in return. So, so let's go start off right away with the women's blood and guts match. So, Emily, let's go ahead and start with you. Just maybe some of your takes and some of maybe your best spots, some things like that. So,
Yeah, I'll try not to go too far into it so I don't ruin anything that you want to say as well. I think that it really made sense for Sky and Willow to start it off. I have a full minute video of Willow just slamming Sky with a trash can cover. It was so loud, everything about it, and I don't know what was louder, the trash can cover or my woos in my videos. So that's never embarrassing enough.
not embarrassing at all.
But I also enjoy that we had Harley coming out second because that really, or third, that really put
Hmm.
a lot of tenacity into it because Harley came in, she was guns blazing, it was perfect, and then you've got Julia who came in and also like they all just
Tekla.
like brought it every time someone came in. I know it's like the standard, but it was the way the crowd was behind each and every one of them for every time like they pinned somebody down, like everything that they were doing just was perfect. I was really proud of what they brought to the ring or rings. And hearing Justin announcing the rules in just the very beginning of it all, it just goosebumps. Everything about it, them lowering the cage, it was really special.
No, I got to agree with Emily. The second they said, time for the first ever women's blood and guts, that place erupted. And they turned the red lights on, the cage is lowering, and they're going over. And this is what I like about AEW Blood and Guts. It's more traditional war games. Because in war games, you can only do submit or surrender. There's no pinfall stipulation. There's not even there's supposed to be a roof, too. It's not supposed to be open. So I like
Hmm.
that in North Carolina, in the South, where war games became famous, we're doing the first ever woman. So I think you kind of felt people in the crowd who maybe have seen, because the guy in front of us said he used to go to Georgia all the time and see at the old auditorium and see the old war games with Dusty and
Oh
Flair.
wow,
Oh,
that'd have been
that's
epic.
cool.
And
That would have been epic.
I couldn't imagine that. And I was just so happy to see. And like you said, you start off, we knew the Triangle Madness was coming in, within the first four people. So to see
Hmm.
Harley and Willow and the Triangle of Madness, and I thought Statlander was going to come in later than she did, but I love that. But you mentioned spots you liked. First, Sky Blue in the first 5 minutes getting busted open because she gets launched into the side of the cage. Then when Tekla comes in running Ruckshot, I think that was one of my favorite little surprise moments. She comes in, jumps on the turnbuckle, goes into the spider, spears Harley, just starts taking her out. Then she pulls a belt out of nowhere, starts just whipping everybody with the belt, and it's like, what is going on?
Well, then we had, I was wondering in the after pictures how Tekla had such a nasty lash, and I was like, oh my gosh, is that from the belt? Wait, she had the belt.
It was the kendo
It was the
stick
kendo stick.
wrapped
So
in
Uh
Jamie
foil.
huh.
Hayter, I just
Yep.
posted a video, cheap plug, of Jamie going to town on everybody with those kendo sticks.
Yeah, and I think that was the cool aesthetic too. Is the women weren't afraid to bring out different weapons and different looks. Harley having the Tifa gear from Final Fantasy, that was a cool pop.
Mercedes with the title belts.
Passing
Mm.
out all the title belts,
Yes,
Yep, that was a
that
great
was
spot.
good.
A great
but
spot.
I think I liked the ending. I liked that the heels
Hmm.
identified a weakness in the faces. They realized that
Exploited it to the fullest.
they're not going to win just by beating the shit out of them. So they got creative. You had Tekla and Julia slipping out of the sides.
Hmm.
Emily was so awestruck. She was like, "Wait, how are they outside?" And I was like, "They slipped out the side."
I was
Yep.
like, wait, what do you mean?
Because
Like,
there's so
I
much going
assumed like
on.
they meant like the
Because
cage like fencing. I was literally so engaged in what was going on in the ring. I didn't realize what was happening. And I'm so sad that I missed that, but also like seeing it from the production side of things
It
kind
was
of was better.
it was
yeah,
so well
Them
done.
crawling out like the men are never going to be able to do that. Maybe
No.
Darby.
Maybe
even
Marco.
even Brian, yeah, and even Brian Danielson on commentary mentioned that during the men. He mentioned that none of the men are going to be able to do that.
And we've
Because they're
seen
not.
past matches like this, and we've never seen something like this.
Correct.
Fantastic, jaw dropped. I was like scrolling TikTok and I saw the clip, and I was like, jaw dropped. Literally, could not pick my jaw up off the
I was like, "What do you
floor.
mean you didn't see it?" It's because there was so much
I
going
sent it to
on.
him
Yes.
immediately. I'm like, oh my
I'm
god,
like,
check
"Yeah."
this
I'm like, "I was
out.
watching it."
It's tough. I mean, like I said, we've been and we saw Anarchy in the Arena, and like we commented previously, there are very hard matches to watch. And yours is predominantly locked in the cage, besides, their little plan, of execution there. Other than that, most stuff's at least confined to the two rings. So,
And then I think Marina Shafir, I know we talked a little off air, her presentation was phenomenal. She comes in, she instantly goes for the biggest dog. She goes for Statlander, pulls her out of the cage, and
hmm
then kicks her into a bed of nails. And just the way she fell down and just sold it, you knew that sucked. And I joked, before we even got there, like, do you think Chris Statler's going to do a split again? Oh no, she did something just as vicious.
yep.
And we knew that bed of nails was coming because when we were getting ready to go in the venue, we saw them bringing it in, but we thought it was going to be for the men's match. So the fact that Marina came in, instantly puts her out on the bed of nails, takes her socks off, goes into a cage where there's broken glass everywhere, barefoot.
Yep.
She's on a different level.
Yep. Well, and then her barefoot spot there where she, used that glass to her advantage.
Oh, when she stomped that glass
There
and
was
she
no
kicked
need
me.
for that. Okay, like she hit a shirt. There was zero need to stomp your foot in that glass.
But I mean,
And
she
that's
did.
just
She kicked
showing how
Mina.
fucking badass she is. That's all.
That's
I
true.
thought
And
Timeless did great too. I
Yeah.
mean,
So go
she
ahead,
brought
Rachel.
extra stuff too, with the glass and then
the
also with the
The
whole
pearls.
champagne
mirror.
problems.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved that. I thought she did really good. I was wondering what you guys thought of that. With her coming in with all the pearls, knocking everybody down.
Giving everybody pearl necklaces, so to speak. Pun
I loved it because
intended.
at first I didn't realize what she had wrapped on her hand because you couldn't really see from a distance. And then it wasn't until I saw them kind of going everywhere. I'm like, oh, they're pearls. 'Cause, like when you saw them kind of exploding. So
hmm
visually it was cool because it was like they were exploding. But my question is, did she steal those from from Matt Jackson? Remember when Matt Jackson used to wear all the pearls? I was like, were
Yeah.
they his?
He had a time or two. Yeah. I also something I figured Emily would notice. Since you're the our gear, wardrobe type person out of us, all the ladies on the babyface side all had a predominant white. Very
Yes.
smart choice, of course. Especially when you're going to have some blood going.
I definitely like so I kept watching everybody coming out and I was like, "Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh no." And it worked out so well. Sky Blue, it looked like she had a corset on from where we were.
It was
Uh huh.
from her a modeling gig. She actually rewore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like really pretty from afar. It literally looked like a corset and I was like, that's got to hurt with all the things that she's doing. Like how is she going to last almost an hour in the ring in a corset?
She
But
did.
she did, and it wasn't exactly like the standardized corset. It was like cut in
Hmm.
different places, so that
hmm
explained it too. But sorry, gearhead. I was just like, how
Yeah.
is
What
she
about
gonna do
Willows?
this?
You mentioned Willows when we were there too.
I
The
don't
Nightmare Before
remember.
Christmas.
Oh yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas
Yeah.
sweats. I
Yep.
was
Her
like, oh,
pants.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And
Yep.
yeah, so we had Sally, we
And
had Tifa from
Mercedes looks
Battistini, Mercedes with the blood.
the red
Mercedes
all
looks
over
good.
Well,
was
that's
sick.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say as well. Since I got into the blood, was I thought it was a very comedic spot with Monet and the blood on her being all grossed out and like, what? No,
Yeah,
the
Oh,
blood
that
off
was
of
pretty
me.
cool.
I agree 100%. I really enjoyed that spot where she went and grabbed all the championships and passed them out. I thought that was a pretty cool spot. And also commenting on Emily's take there, I love the order that the ladies were presented. I think it was, and I know it makes sense and it's whatever, but I just thought it was smart because we'll get to the men's, but I don't feel like the men's order maybe was quite as
thought
smart
out.
in certain
Yeah.
ways. It worked, but it wasn't as smart. This boosted our tag women, the women's tag tournament because we got the Sisters of Sin versus the Babes of Wrath.
Yes.
Correct. Okay. we got that. Then, like you said, boom, then all of a sudden it's Triangle Madness. So now you
Yep.
got that. Then you got, um, Hater coming in. So now you got that battle of the trios type
She had on a new outfit
situation.
too.
She
Yeah,
did.
she went.
I liked it. I was like, "Ooh, go!" I loved it. Blue jean, little blue jean cutoffs. Yep, she did good too.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
The back of her shirt, I think, said blood and guts.
And then,
Yeah.
Bane coming in looking utterly dominant. Bane's another one that
Mm-mm.
quietly dominated the match. She just came
And
in and threw everybody around. Harley trying to climb up, and then her just getting caught, but then her taking that Darby type risk where she jumps onto him. And then
Mm-mm.
I got to call back real quick before I promise I'll let you. The puppet, the callback with
Yep.
Mini Monet,
That was coming.
and
Yep.
she pulls off the puppet and then knocks her out with brass knucks. And I just love it because all I could think of was William Regal and the power of the punch of the knuckles, and the guy in front of me was like, "Oh, it's a Regal move." And I'm like, "Yes, somebody else understands
Somebody
my
else.
madness."
That's awesome.
I really
That
enjoyed
is
that we still
awesome.
got to see Penelope Ford and Queen Amanada. I was very impressed that we were still able to get them their moment, just because that's something that Penelope had posted earlier in the day, how upset she was not to be a part of.
Right.
And then, okay, going back to the guy in front of us. So, the very, very beginning, we get into the arena and we pass by the heels table and Aubrey's there. Always stop by and see Aubrey, male, female, it doesn't matter. Go see her. She's good. Talk
Yep.
with her, get a picture. She's good.
Yes, she
So
is.
I was like,
Yep.
Aubrey, where's the merch? And she's like, go right around this corner. I was like, thank you. I'll come back. She goes, okay. So I go over, we grab our merch. And okay, if you were listening before to our other episodes, I've been dying for a blood and guts splattered merch. I don't understand why your whole shtick was blood splatter and we got nothing.
She's so mad. She like fantasy booked herself in a merch that didn't happen, but you still
However,
got the
She
this
needs
Easter
that
one
egg.
is a
crazy.
pretty cool one.
That is a cool shirt.
It is.
I
Well,
like
they
it.
need
Reminds
one
me of
like
like
Britt Baker.
WCW.
Yeah, and they need one like Britt Baker. That bloody misprint you have,
I want the
where it looks
sky
real
blue
awesome.
one like that.
Well,
Yes,
she's
you
got
have to
one.
order that.
She's got it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
okay,
No,
so I got to ask. So we've
yeah.
been talking about it. So who are your MVPs? I know we kind of briefly mentioned it, so everybody could kind of think about it. But I'm gonna go. Emily, who was your MVP?
My
And it could be
female
heel, babyface, whoever
MVP,
for this match. Who was your MVP? It can be more than one.
obviously Sky Blue just hands down like dominated this, but also like I think Tekla was a very big influence in
Integral part,
this. Like,
absolutely.
yeah, she definitely had so much more to do with this than a lot of other women, and I think that that goes back to her have the intertwining storyline. She's got the tag storyline, the
Mhm.
trio storyline, and she has her single
Singles,
storyline.
yeah, yep. I like it. I like it. What do you think, Josh?
Sky Blue still, number one, just because the fact that her and Willow set the tone for the entire match when it started. Going in there
Hmm.
being just completely badass. Marina, I definitely got to give a special shout out to Marina Shafir. We talked about the foot spot and how she kind of went to the champ, but I think I'm gonna kind of go. Also, this is gonna sound a little weird. I'm going to give another honorable mention to Mercedes Monet taking herself out of the match by going through the table so the women who helped build Blood and Guts were in Blood and Guts. I kind of enjoyed that the last spot.
Hmm.
So Megan Bain's kind of my second MVP
I was thinking
because
Okay.
Megan
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Megan Bain teasing she's holding the TBS title. I want to point that out. She was using the TBS title to hurt Mina
And,
to
and
make
looking
them
at it too, though.
so it's almost like they got rid of Mercedes because she didn't really want to be there. But then the women who dominated won. So I think Sky Blue and Bane are probably my MVPs. But honorable mention to Marina and Monet, just because Monet played the chicken shit heel perfectly. Like I don't, like you said, I don't
Hmm.
want the blood on me. And then even out of kayfabe to make sure she's taken out so she's not in the ring celebrating with the women who helped kind of build that
She
blood and
fucked her
guts.
finger up
Well,
too.
and not do her moment because normally it's all about her.
Mm-hmm.
So if she would have been up and standing, it would have been about her. So it was nice that she didn't have to really take anything by being out of it, so to speak. So
So since we're reversing it, what about you two? Who you guys have for MVP for the women's?
go ahead, Rachel.
Well, of course, sky blue. I mean, a number one. I actually was thinking Mercedes Martinez. Like I was all, well, I wonder why she wasn't in there whenever everything
Hmm.
was done or whatever. But whenever you said that, I was like, huh, because I thought she came in and she was more of the back type. She set she did more of the back stuff and let like everybody else fight around her. So, but Sky Blue most definitely.
Well, and then for mine, I of course had Sky and then Marina for two of mine. I thought there were several others, but I thought Monet definitely helped tie things together. And Bain did well, but I will say this that I want to throw out about Megan Bain. She had a couple vicious belt championship belt shots. I know she got Harley good one time because you could hear it. It
Yeah.
smacked her right upside the head, and Harley was like, "Oh!" Like you could tell it really got her. And then, excuse me, I think she was trying to hit Mina and hit Marina right across the arm on like one of the very first ones, and you can tell she's like, "Damn!" I'm like, "Hey,
Yeah.
hit
Oh,
her,
when she
not
was
me,"
watching
you
the
know?
mother's milk, yeah.
Yeah, because she's like, "Hey, kind of hit her, not me." But yeah, I'll say these two. I thought the ladies did a very good job on having the violence, but not necessarily making it super over the top in some ways,
Hmm.
like the men have done, which I think they really needed to do to separate themselves and differentiate themselves for this match. Because, yes, I thought this was excellent. I didn't think it was too over the top, even though, like we spoke about, Sky Blue got MVP partially because she bled 45 seconds into the match for the entire 45 minutes. You know,
Instant
that's a big
crimson
part of it.
mass too.
Yeah, and she, I
Yes.
would say was the bump woman in this match for a big portion of it. So, I really wanted to give a shout out to that because I thought it was very intelligent, very smart, very well thought out because I think they really needed to because this had a lot going on it and a lot riding on it for the ladies involved. And I think they did a great job. So
Have you ever seen that movie Teen Witch? It's an older movie, came out in the late '80s, early '90s. There's a
it
very
sounds
famous scene
familiar.
where there's a rap battle, and she goes on, and these punk guys who think they're better, and she's just
That
like, "Top that, top that."
top that. And you want
Instantly
to get
played
together.
in my head at the end of the women's match was "Top that, top that." That's the vibe I got for the women's matches. They went out there and they told the guys, "Go fucking top that." And like you said,
Yep.
Hmm.
Jeff, I agree. Like they didn't do the whole gory self mutilation that everybody likes to say. They
Correct.
used the weapons perfectly. They used the environment. They bled the right. I mean, you're not going to be thrown around in a cage with glass and mirrors and everything else and not have someone bleed. So I
Hmm.
think they did it the right way. Like you said, it wasn't over the top where it was just like a death match or someone kind of gets on them, and
That's
they
something
set the bar
too.
high.
I'm curious if they're going to use that mirror in future promos where that's something that breaks Tony because she
Oh,
saw like
tinfoil.
in
Yeah.
post when we watched it at home,
She
you
still looked at
see
herself.
the mirror get held up and you see Tony going into it. And I'm so curious if they're going to use this because I think that would be if you're listening AEW, use that. Maybe I'll
Well,
use it
It's
for
the woman
you.
in the
yeah.
mirror.
Well, like I said, that's why I thought it was very smart because they left a lot of storyline there and they set it up to where it could go a lot of different directions with a lot of different people that were intertwined. So, like I said, that's what I thought was very smart and very well thought out by them.
I agree.
So all right. Well, not to move on because that was definitely, and that's like I said, part of the reason, wanted to talk to you guys about this stuff because this was a record setting event, and it's something, you guys got to see live and in person. So that's very special. So, but
I would have been happy if even if there was not a men's match with how well done that was, if
mhm,
they would have replaced not that I want it done, but if they would have replaced the men with a
Just a regular
Royale
match, yeah.
or like the
Hmm.
Royale that we missed out on with the
mhm.
Rampage Royale they used to do,
Okay.
I think that could have been really cool. However, I am happy we got both Blood and Guts because we did not expect to get both when the first
Right.
one was announced.
Right. Right.
True.
Well, not to, move on because that was a great match, but let's go ahead and move forward. We're going to go with the Hangman Adam Page versus Will Hobbs, the Falls Count Everywhere match, non-title. I had to make sure and stress that to her as well because beforehand, because she's like, "Is it title or not?" I'm like, "No."
I'm
So
here to
they're
do some
not going
cowboy
to.
shit, as her shirt says.
Yep,
That's
that's
right.
exactly it. So, but Emily, let's go ahead and start with you. Kind of your takes on whatever the finish, any kind of spots, gear, whatever. So.
All of it. I think that they both debuted new gear, I believe. Watched I think his name's a Danger Snake. He made Will Hobbs gear, he always does. But my favorite part about this match was that it wasn't necessarily going in the ring. because
Hmm.
it is hard to have a one-on-one in that style ring. Because like you go to throw somebody through the middle ropes and you have another set of middle ropes.
And technically, by rules, you can only use one ring when there's two rings like that. Fun fact.
So that's
Yes,
a
no, that
lot.
is correct.
So it's way better that they were able to do the false count anywhere and they went through the whole stands. I think I was a little disappointed because I was really hoping to get to see somebody sit in Josh's
No,
lap
she
and get
wanted Hangman
chopped.
in my damn lap. I'm like, I
I
don't want him
wanted
in my
Rachael
lap.
to just like chop Hangman in his lap. I thought that would have been
No, I'm gonna let him
hilarious.
go. I'm not letting Hangman get chopped.
Um, but I was
I'll eat
hoping
one
it
for
would
you.
like go across the arena a little more. But I think that they didn't have a lot of time to work with, and they did the best that they could in that time period. And the electrical,
Oh, the electrical box.
they did
Yeah.
so good. I don't know how it looked on TV. I kind of didn't.
It looks better on TV.
I think it was
Timing,
really
timing
good.
looked good. Timing looked good. This was not a TNA lockdown from 2007 debacle. I can say that because I commented immediately when it happened. Trust me.
So I hope somebody around us was recording because I
Books and Body
definitely
Slam got it. She was right there.
no, like me. I hope what I said was recorded because the second they smashed through that box, I said, "Damn, they could do that barbed wire explosion
No, you
match
said, what do you
again."
mean we
Oh.
can't get another exploding barbed wire death match? I have it on recording.
Oh, nice, nice. You're gonna have to get that one on the show,
It
and we're gonna need
was
a
after
sound clip of that.
Cam dropping an F bomb too.
Oh well, that's even
Yes.
better because that always sounds awesome when you're cheering for a match. So what do you got for us, Josh? What are you thinking?
I think the first spot I gotta mention is that tailbone bump off the announcer's desk
Ooh,
when he does the back body drop to Hobbs, and Hobbs doesn't hit anything but floor. Like,
dude,
ow.
his
He
hip.
bounced.
Yes, he did. His hip had to hurt.
Yes, I
And
said that. I know he
Oh,
bounced.
oh, his hip. As soon as it happened, oh, but he
because
bounced right back up. I mean,
and that to me that set the tone for this match. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be stiff. That's like the first bump in the match. That's like crazy. After that,
hmm
he already did the power slam onto the stairs to Hangman, and
yep.
it was just. I like that they didn't use both rings because I was like, is it falls count anywhere so they can do both rings? Since technically you're not supposed to use both. Like, I was trying to think of it, and then they immediately go outside. I'm like, good. I think this is how they should do it. And I like that they didn't try to overshadow either war games because I think, excuse me, blood and guts, because I think that was the goal. Was it's a falls count anywhere, but it was more to get in the crowd, kind of keep that crowd hyped. So it was definitely a good buffer match to,
hmm
because you're gonna come down off euphoria after that first match. You get this match, kind of, yeah, let's go, like get your kind of adrenaline going again. They'll get you ready for the next match or the next segment. And then
Well,
yeah,
and
when
they're
they
in
were
the
fighting in
and
the
they're in the
crowd,
crowd.
it
Hmm
was directly across from us. So we were in like section 117. That was in like section probably 121, 122.
We were
So
wondering.
we saw him go up, but like it's just a sea of people. As soon as they go up, like everyone stands up and looks,
I had
and
Cam on his seat trying to look over. He couldn't see anything either. We're like, damn it, we can't see.
everyone, and I had a feeling something was going to happen because I saw the cameraman running over there when they were near the balcony, and I
hmm
was like, oh, they're by the exit. So like they were by like an exit to go out to the from the floor to like the venue, like area we can get food and stuff, concessions. And I
hmm
was like, that's weird. They're blocking that. And as soon as I thought that, Hobbs falls, and I was just like, holy just as he falls. And then like the lights flickered, and like it was very well timed. Like usually, like you said, it can be hokey if it's not timed right. Like like oh, it's already over.
hmm Yep.
And then I like that he immediately cut the promo after. He's like, "You can leave Shibata at home. You can leave Hobbs in the hospital. If you
Yep.
want to be in a cage match, you could just ask dumbass." Like I like that it
Yep.
Yes.
set up a high stakes match for Full Gear, so it's not just a straight rematch. Like it's a rematch with stakes. So I thought overall it did a great job, not only kind of taking out one of his biggest rivals in the ops to kind of level the playing field for him a little bit, but it set
hmm
up Full Gear kind of nicely. It was a good way to set up Full
hmm
Gear.
Yep. So what do you have, Rachel?
I like seeing Hook and Kingston coming out too.
Yes.
That
Yes.
was amazing coming out to save the day. So I'd like to see those three get into like a little, you know, same team type of thing.
Get
So
that trios, that
yeah,
6 man
that'd be
type
good.
stuff.
I like the fact that it wasn't all bloody and there wasn't a lot of um,
hmm
instruments, I guess,
Weapons.
weapons used. So I thought that was really good, but I loved how it all ended and everything. And how can you like Hangman? I mean, come on, he is the best. So
It's a
And he's
cowboy
from
show.
right around there.
I think he's from either Virginia or West Virginia. He's
Virginia,
from the southern area.
Virginia area,
yeah,
yeah.
So, but yeah, I thought it was really good.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to go and comment the same types of things. I thought this match was planned out well too, as far as the falls count anywhere. I think that was very smart to do because exactly what you guys said. It is hard to do anything with two rings, and that
Hmm.
way, also, it was smart because, like you said, you can get the wrestlers out in the crowd with the match, which is going to elevate everybody after just being brought up so high from the match before. Also same it was smart. They didn't overshadow them. There was no blood. They used weapons, but the weapons they did use were more physical obstacles that they utilized for back and other things like that instead of cutting them or doing
Like a
those types of
visual.
things.
Yes.
Yeah, it was more, hey, we're gonna work on the back and keep working the back, and because these are strong, big opponents. You're the top guy in the company against one of the bruisers in the company.
And I bet he has a bruise on his butt.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that
I
hip,
bet that boy
his hip
down.
had to
As
hurt.
someone who's
Yep.
broken his tailbone, that man, I hope that man didn't, because that hurts.
Right. Well,
Yep.
and I think he landed a little bit side, so I don't think it got tailbone.
Oh,
But
that's
yeah,
good.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I was like, oh shit, but I'm same thing. I thought
He
this was good.
tiggered.
Oh yeah, and I
Oh,
thought it
like
was good
bounced
for
off his
Hobbs.
tail. Ouch.
Yes, he did. You watch it, he elevates, it gets up.
So is
But
He
Hangman
same
Winnie
thing.
the
did.
Pooh?
And Tigger
Yes.
too. Yes, sir.
Or a
Yeah, same
heffalump.
thing.
Oh God.
And then the finish, of course, I thought that, of course, makes it easier for Hangman to go get the pin. Hobbs doesn't look anything less because it took him pushing him, hitting him with his cowboy boot in the head, knocking him off a balcony onto an electrical table. So, when it takes that to put you down, you're not going to be solid as weak. And then, of course, the last comment would be yes, definitely set up the match at full gear, and especially then with your run in and interference at the end.
And
So,
with Hook, who used to be on Opt, I
well,
just
correct.
realized
That's
that.
that's the
Then he came out.
storyline.
I was like, oh.
But that's
So
that's the
now
storyline stuff
I'm getting
because
it.
you got Hangman versus Joe, you got the other two,
A little
those types of
slow.
things.
I still
It's
think
okay.
maybe what if Hook's a double agent? I still have that Hook could be a double agent thing
It's
too.
very possible.
Ooh, that could
Very
be
possible.
too.
But
Yep.
but overall, I was the same. I thought this was a good match and especially good in between. So, but I guess moving on to the next thing here, I have and I'm kind of dreading talking about this because it kind of hurt my heart a little bit because I watched a lot of his matches. But so we'll go to the Ricky Steamboat segment with Tony Schiavone. So before we even talk about it, because I know everybody's probably got similar comments, Emily, what did you think?
I did not put two and two together until FCR talked about teaming up with Ricky. I was like, wait, we were there. It was the Dirt Arena. Wait.
Yes,
And then they
yes,
showed the picture and we're like, no shit. So that
yeah.
was really cool. But douchebags.
I
Like, how do you
Did you think
disrespect
that's?
Ricky?
Did you think that segment ran really long? Did it seem to kind of
Yes.
go
Oh
longer than it
my.
should? Okay, I just had to throw that in there.
I thought it was a commercial, to be quite honest.
I think it's because Ric Flair was originally supposed to be out there
He
because
was.
he came out about 2-3
Oh.
minutes before the show went on the air. So he came out probably at like 7:55 with Tony. So it was like right after one of the Ring of Honor
Mm.
matches, and Tony's like, "Oh, he just wants to come say hi to you." So he came out. Everyone's wooing, and he basically said, "I've had great memories of this arena, and I want to thank everyone. Say hi." And he sounded like he was in a lot of pain,
He had like watery eyes.
and he sounded like he was in, like his voice was cracking, like when like you're very sore. And they said that he might have a rotator cuff issue, so I think that's why he probably
Oh
just
yeah.
wanted to go home. So I think, yeah, the pacing of the Ricky Dragons team. I think I don't know if Bandito and them took too long to get out there, or if there was different spots playing because Rick was in there. It was going to be more than just that, but
Hmm.
it could have cut a few minutes off it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did you think, Rachel?
I I've watched it twice now, and I still don't know
Yeah.
really what all he said because I kind of go off because he's not really talking, so I kind of go off and think about other things. However, I thought it was very, very rude that FTR interrupted.
That's the point.
No, it doesn't matter. You don't like he was like in the whole midst of talking and everything, but uh I don't like the black guy seems like an asshole too.
Oh,
But
Stokely,
Stokely.
he gets no
yes.
hose.
He does not get hosed.
No.
Did
So,
not
but
get
I
that
mean,
chant over. I tried.
I did like him talking. It was very long. There could have been some cut off. Yes. So,
Yeah. So for me, like I said, leading into this, it was a little sad because Ricky's always kind of been that guy that even though he's the aging veteran, and everything else, he's always been the cleaner and not, didn't do as much partying and all this other stuff, because I remember when the times you're talking about being there, I remember and he could go. Like, I mean, he throwing out arm drags left and right and just doing top rope stuff. And you're like, holy shit, like Ricky looks good at 58 years old or whatever the hell, and it really looked weird because he seemed like he was having a tough time sticking to the script and getting his thoughts out, which let's all be honest, if you watched any of his stuff, he wasn't necessarily the best promo guy. You know what I mean? Like that was never really his thing. He was more of a performer, and his kind of stuff was more of the intro and the aura, in my opinion, because I was a
No, that's,
Steamboat fan.
yeah, I was gonna say that's very accurate. Ric Flair was always the promo, and he was always the
Hmm.
person who could match him in
Yes.
the ring.
Yeah,
And
and
the
he just
poster was really cool too. I don't know if you guys got to see that
Yeah,
that
I
they
liked
had
the
in the stands.
know
yeah,
that
I
Ricky
like I
pointed
like the
out.
Yeah.
yeah the Four Horsemen. I liked when he pointed out that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
did
not
think it
Four
was
Horsemen, Mount Rushmore. Excuse me, Mount
yeah,
Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore, yes, but I did
The
think it was
guy that was
weird.
next to him was in line with us on the ramp while we were waiting to get in,
Hmm.
and his sign just said "Yay" and "Boo," and I really enjoyed talking with him because he wasn't just a fan of AEW, but he sat there talking with us. Like he wasn't someone that knew a whole lot about AEW.
He was giving them a chance because he wanted to learn more. Yeah,
So it was
Oh,
really
okay.
cool. Like he didn't talk about that at length or anything. He just kind of was like, "It's one of my first shows."
we were actually surrounded by. I would
Cool.
say the whole row behind us had a lot of new fans who hadn't really bet, but they wanted to come to AEW because it was like they said it was $20.
And
Ah, that's
Really?
awesome. Jeez,
I want to
yeah,
come
like
down
that's
tickets
there.
were
awesome.
really well
Wow.
priced. And the best part for me was I didn't have a fake fan around me. It was so nice. I could focus on the
Passionate fans.
wrestling. Everything about
Good.
it, they were wrestling fans. Even if they didn't know what was going on, they were so into the matches that they weren't mansplaining, they weren't going over the top. I could actually focus on the wrestling at hand,
They
and
weren't
that
trying to
never
take over.
happens for me.
And
So I mean,
chant and cheer and like everybody could root for who they wanted. That's the best part.
Yeah.
yeah,
There was no
Jeff, it was
disrespect.
your environment, Jeff, where people got the chants going at the right time. They got the clap going at the right time.
Yes,
Like
yes. I thought
it,
your crowd was very good. From our perspective, from watching on television.
I was happy because it's been hit or miss sometimes. We went to a collision there, and it seemed like everyone there just didn't give
Look at all the fake blood.
like
Well, you had the old
Shut
head.
the
Well,
fuck
well,
up.
you get the old heads sometimes, and they
mhm.
don't really aren't the same. They
Or they
kind of
start
just
to clap
shit.
at the wrong time. You're like, no, that's not
Yeah.
when you do the Tinkerbell clap. That's
Right?
not time.
Yes. Correct. Correct.
Know the rules.
But
Not another
not to
teen
harp
movie.
on not to harp on the Ricky thing too much, but the one that really got me was when he did the "I know him." It like made me like, oh, like Ricky,
Yeah,
you got something going on, bro, because we know you fucking know him.
that was
We
such
all
an
know
awkward
you where
line.
you worked forever, but it was so crazy because it was like he didn't know what was going on, and like you could see like Dax was trying to like coach him, and like Tony. Now I will say this just to end this segment with that portion on a little bit more positive note. He still could do the physical.
Yes,
I will give Ricky that, and that salvaged it for me personally to see him still be able to do the physical portion a little bit because I was like, oh, thank God. Maybe
right.
that means he doesn't have anything, you know what I mean? Doesn't have anything wrong. And maybe it's just, hey, he's not a very good talker and he's getting old.
Yeah,
So I was glad to see that he could do the physical. So
probably had to like memorize Flair's lines too. So he's like, oh crap, two scripts.
yeah, you know what I mean? So I can give him
Now what do
that,
I do?
like I said, because the physical saved it for me because it's like, okay, that was encouraging because he can still move and do that type of stuff. So
And we got to see Bandito. I was so happy I got to see a 21 plex. I'm like, yeah, Bandito,
yes.
let's go.
So then, yes, that's what I was going to say. So now we got the save by Brodito. So you guys pretty much, I have a good idea, knew that was coming. So what'd you think about that? So go ahead and do that, Emily. What'd you think about them coming out in that save?
In that moment, I didn't look at me. I looked next to me at our child who had just gotten his Brodito shirt. He was so excited at the merch stand.
Oh,
That's what he picked. And he was so happy to see them come out.
He
It
was
was just,
barking with Brody.
yeah, like
oh,
so
oh,
awesome.
oh.
It's all about that moment with the kids.
Hmm.
You know what's funny? I was looking at Cam too because he was so he was we went up and he's looking. He's like, "Oh, this dark." He's like, "Oh, I want the Brodito shirt." And we had, and he helped clean and stuff. He earned his allowance to get a shirt, and
Oh,
he was so
Nice.
excited to get that Brodito shirt. And then they came out, and he was like, so. I just knew that the night was going to be up for him because I knew Darby was coming out and he got to see
Yep.
Brodito, so he was already on cloud nine because he got to see all his favorites.
yep.
That's
Listen
awesome.
though, we
Well,
like instill it in him. I had to work my ass off the past couple weeks at work.
yeah.
Therefore, I got two shirts. I got this one and I got the ECW barbed wire style
The AWs
AEW.
for Sickos one.
And it's got blood
Oh,
drips on
okay.
it, so that was,
Yeah, there you go. You got your
it
blood.
satisfied me. But I was like, I've worked really hard. Like, I did a really great day. We had 4 people on. I made 1,700 in sales on a Sunday, which is like
Fuck
insane for one
yeah.
person.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm treating myself.
Damn right, you earned it. Well, and I can comment from that perspective too, because we've seen Cam have some experiences for ourselves, and I can tell you right now, there were times that I was watching him and not myself, or
Right?
Nero, or Spencer or something. That happens several
Yeah.
times during cruises or shows. You get a
You
kid
live
or something
vicariously
around
through
you.
them.
Well, kind
Yep.
of because you're like, oh man, I want to see this kid's what his reactions and things like that because it makes me feel good. So.
Like this upcoming cruise, I'll be excited to see Cam and Nero because they're both Jeff Hardy fans. So to see when Jeff Hardy
Yep.
comes out to
Oh
the ring to
yeah.
see everyone juking, that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah. So, but then we'll go our last segment before we get moving forward. Then we have Don Callis family. Of course, we gotta get hot dog in there somewhere. Of course, don't we?
Hot dog.
Then
I got
the Don
Dino.
Callis family attack on Jurassic Express backstage. So you guys get to see that. I'm assuming through the jumbotron.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
The
So,
best
what
part
did you
about
guys think
this,
about that with the Bucks and Okada?
yes, so all of that is like unfolding, and I'm just staring at the scar on Don Callis's head because prior to going into the show, we were talking about it with the couple behind us about how his scar looks different every time he's on TV. And I'm just like, it's because they're overcooking him.
He does like the tanning bed.
He does.
He does.
It makes the scar look brighter.
So you're calling him a the gas station hot dog? Is that what you're
Yeah, and
saying?
he's been stuck
That's
on
been
this
sitting there
wheel
for
and he
six
needs to
hours.
go. I'm so over Don Callis.
It's like going to the Quick Trip. You're like, oh, that hot dog's been there since they've opened, and I don't mean this morning.
Yeah, but I do think that sentiment you just made is the biggest thing about Don Callis. Is that sentiment? Everybody's tired of him. Everybody's
Mhm.
tired of the Don Callis family.
I think that's why the
But
Bucks
they
are
just
gonna.
keep getting better and bigger.
And
Eventually, there's got to be a crash.
I think
So it's
too.
coming.
I think this is a good segment because on BTE, you had Okada basically trying to convince the Bucks like you got to join, and then after they attacked, Jurassic Express, Okada's like, time to make a
Yeah.
decision.
Yep. I love it. Oh, that's great.
I
And it's
I
like,
know.
love Okada humor.
so we could potentially by the end of this month have 3 reluctant members to the Don Callis family. You could have the Bucks and Briscoe if he loses. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this segment did good because, like you said, it kind of sets up the Don Callis is getting too big to fail, but like. You have someone like Brian Cage, who unfortunately he's out with injury, but he's been kind of like in kayfabe tweeting his displeasure, like, "Oh, cool, so you forgot about me because I'm on the shelf," which
Mm-hmm.
is a
Yep.
common
I
theme
have
with
seen
Don.
that. I have seen that. Yes, it is. And then, of course, the Kenny Omega name always pops up when Don Callis is involved.
Yep, it's his white whale.
It is
And we have
very
Mark
true.
Davis wrestling this
Mark
weekend.
versus Mark. Mark versus
I
Mark at
know.
Collision.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
And I think
So,
this is going to kind of set up what's to come for him as far as that match with Kyle.
Hmm.
I think
yep.
that this is like the make it or break it match for him. Is he going to attempt to injure him? Like, there's so many things that go into that. And then just being able to kind of watch the Don Callis family unravel the way that it is and being able to take it in because they're not hiding that. So the Young Bucks have people that are going to take care of them. Obviously, they're
Hmm.
going to hang out. So
Yeah.
now, is it unraveling or is it turning a new leaf?
Right? Correct. That's
Well,
the nice part about it all.
this is funny thinking that Don Callis turning a new leaf. Sorry, I like to think of him on the roller still.
Yeah.
He's got new
Yeah.
hot dogs to join him.
That is fair. So, well, and then without further ado, we'll get to the main event, which is the men's blood and guts. So, Emily, we'll go ahead and start with you. Give me some insights, some spots, some favorite things, whatever gear, all that goodies. So what do you got for us?
Well, the
Why
backpack.
was Darby opening the match? I was
Because he's
like,
Darby.
no.
Because you
I thought it
knew.
was going to be Wheeler Yuta and Darby.
Yep.
And then
Which it was.
it was. So
Your
that was
bump
kind of
guys.
nice. But I didn't want it to be Darby at the same time because obviously that's the whole match.
Hmm.
Um, then having Orange Cassidy bringing out his backpack, I was excited. I was
She
like,
gave me the
he
dirtiest
did
look because
it!
I was like, I don't think he'll bring the backpack. He doesn't have enough. So he brings the backpack out and she just goes.
That was the I told you so. That was
Yeah,
the I told you so look.
it was.
And
I
then
told you.
we saw him getting his hands stapled in his pockets. When I tell you, you can hear it on our videos. I'm like, no, no. I mean, it was genius.
Oh,
It
that was
was
a great spot. A
genius.
great spot. Somebody had to eventually, right?
It had to be a staple gun party at some point too. Like
Either that
the
or
two
tape
things
them or
had to go.
something. Yeah.
No, and I think you kind of hit the nail on the head earlier when you were talking about the women's match. I think the only really downfall is this one kind of took a little bit to get going because of how kind of people came out. Because obviously, 1, 2, 3, you basically had Yuta, Orange, and Darby. So you kind of knew that dynamic. Then you knew the Death Riders would start trickling in. You had Claudio come in,
Which
Moxley coming
felt
in.
too soon.
Moxley coming in a lot earlier than I thought, which was
Hmm.
kind of nice. Then the Briscoe injury angle. I wasn't really a big fan of it at first because I thought they were going to replace him. So I'm glad that they
Okay.
did. I'm glad they did. The whole Paul Pierce Game 7 wheelchair moment when he just had to go to
Yep.
the
Hmm.
bathroom, but he faked a knee injury. I'm glad that they did something with Mark, and I kind of like how they structured it towards the end more than the beginning. I feel like they flipped it. I feel like it should have gone the other way. I know you were talking about Garcia earlier, like the mask and the gloves. That was a little weird, but we knew he was only in there to kind of beat people up. But seeing Orange take out the chain of the backpack, just seeing him do something different was nice.
What about the
Um,
sunglasses spot for OC? Just to
when
bring
he
that one up.
snapped him and then he like goes to put him on his head, he's like, "Oh yeah, I broke him."
Yeah. Stabs him and then
That's
tries
a
to
new
wear
one.
him. That was great. I thought that was a great spot.
I liked when Moxley used the broken mirror from the women's match. Like that
I
was
liked when he
interesting.
brought all the stuff out. Like he took their bucket and brought all that stuff, and I thought that was a great thing too.
I channeled my Jeff because when Roderick replaced Mark and he came out, I was like, I'm like, we're getting some backbreakers now. And he
And the
Oh my
came
God,
guy in
out,
that's
front
all
of
he
us goes,
did.
the Messiah. And I was like, oh my
I was like, of the
God.
backbreaker.
Oh,
So
I was backbreaker. Oh, he comes out and throws like 5 or 6 right away, and every one of them backbreaker, another backbreaker, and
and it
she's like,
was
oh my
I
god,
really couldn't get away from it because the guy in front of me said it, and I finished it for him
yes,
because him and I like bonded all
yes.
night because he would start a chant and I'd start another one. When Moxley brought out the barbed wire bat, I was like, "It's Lucille," and he hits him. He goes, "It's a vampire bat." I'm like, "Yes, this guy gets me in front." I forgot your name, but I had so much fun like having chants with it. And I think that's what made
And Jesse was in front of us as well.
Jason.
Oh, Jason, I'm so sorry. It's the second time.
That happens. I understand.
And I thought Emily mentioned the stable spot. I thought it was awesome towards the end. You had him rip his hands out of the staple and deliver that Superman punch to Moxley, and then Claudio shoves him and he pops up and hits that giant Superman punch.
Hmm.
So I thought Orange Cassidy had some awesome moments. Kyle O'Reilly just coming in like the violent artist that we know he is, coming in,
Hmm.
throwing all those kicks, being choked out in a bulldog choke with a chain, blood on his face. He smiled and
Yeah.
flipped him off, and it was like, holy shit, the place went
Hmm.
wild. And Darby being Darby, climbing, doing a coffin drop, getting thrown through those flaming tables. I popped for Gabe Kidd. I was like, holy shit, that's fucking Gabe Kidd. And then he showed up. I'm like, no, Gabe, don't hurt Darby. Like I was so excited to see him, but then I don't know how well it came off on camera, but when Darby went through, his back was still on fire when he rolled to the back.
No, they slow mo.
Oh, they
They
did?
slow moed it. Yeah, so like they show the replay of it, and then they show a slow mo after replay and show his back on fire after he's like getting up because like the whatever lighter
The
fluid
lighter
or
fluid,
whatever
yeah.
they use, whatever got on his back too. So, oh yeah.
So we were actually supposed to do a meet and greet with him today at Nerd Bombers in Greensboro.
But he's pretty banged up. Thankfully, he's not
So
super injured, but
my question is like,
Oh shut.
if you have medics on hand, why was he in the ER?
because they're
That made me more worried for
no,
him.
you can't speculate that because you can have medics on hand, but they're not always equipped to treat everything. So they might be able to.
Certain
Hey,
injuries or certain
we can
things
help
they
you, but
can't.
we need you to get there. We also don't know
Mm-hmm.
why he was in the ER. I mean,
I have a feeling tonight we'll find out why on Collision.
well,
Possibly.
from what I've heard and read, it sounds like he, avoided pretty much everyone but Jamie Hayter avoided some injuries. It sounds like Hayter chipped some teeth and is a little banged up, but
It's a
Yeah.
good thing she knows a
with
dentist.
with how with how hard Darby took some of those spots, I'm honestly surprised he was able to kind of get up and walk out because he took some gnarly spots. Yuta was definitely the butt man of this one. He
Whew.
Always.
just took her out, and then when they go up
Fuck
top,
you, Yoda.
when when Mark took the grappling hook and started pulling the chairs up, I was like,
Yeah.
"What is going
Yeah.
on?"
Well, oh, he's fishing.
And
This
then
is
Yeah.
I
great.
was like, "Oh no, it got stuck! It got stuck!" And then
Mm-hmm.
they have the chair battle, and then he finally hits that J driller on top. I was so happy. I'm like, if anyone deserves that, it's Yuta.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Also, AW needs to pre-saw their tables because those. You had the women's match where you had poor Sky get half the table that didn't break, and then Hayter tried to put it through, it didn't break. This one, Claudio got speared into the table. It kind of like rolled. It didn't break, and then they finally got him
Mm-hmm.
through. So
A little bit of a gimmick wouldn't hurt.
I don't know if they just need to do a little hairline saw on some of these tables, but
Well, and I will say there was a couple of them that did land a little bit off center. They
which
landed
okay,
a
that would
little
make
bit
sense.
towards the end because, like, and I know for you guys, same for us. It's hard to tell that stuff until you watch it on the television version. But there were a couple of those where you can tell they were off center, so they were more on the leg. So then a couple of them, when they did crack, it was like right after the leg, so they just barely kind of, I know a couple of them they kind of finished them off again, so to speak. So, but yeah, you could tell. And honestly, some of that stuff, like I've talked about, I don't mind some of that. It just makes it a little bit more real.
Oh no,
Like
I wasn't mad.
right,
I think
right.
for safety, I just
Ouch.
wish they could.
You're right,
When
right.
Sky
Yeah.
hit that, the entire if you listen back, you can hear the entire ring go oh, like
Oh yeah.
we all knew that sucked.
There was a couple spots where you could definitely hear because the crowd kind of like held their breath for a second. You know what I mean? Because the spot was going down. You were like, and then you hear or something. And you're like, man, that
Yeah,
was a good spot there.
when Moxley comes in and is instantly forking everyone, that was like
That
you could
we
hear it. Like when Darby went for that backdrop, he just stabs him right in the back. I'm like,
yeah.
oh.
I thought that was a cool spot of him coming in.
I
So,
turned into
but
that
here,
Looney Tune guy. And I was like, oh, a fork, even in the back, even.
so what do you got, Rachel? You got anything?
I thought the way that it ended was kind of sucky. Like, really?
Well,
Moxley
what about
tapping out on
storyline though? I mean,
the
this
whole, foot thing. Like, but Moxley's been
ankle lock,
losing.
ankle lock.
Whatever. Ankle lock. Moxley's been like on a losing streak now. So I
Mm-hmm.
wonder what's
Mhm.
coming up with him. Like, what's is he gonna be leaving for a little bit? Like, what's going on? He usually doesn't ever lose this much. So,
Well,
uh,
that's part of the story, I think.
but yeah, I just thought that the ending could have been a little bit better. But rather than that, I thought it was really good. Yeah, and then the whole Darby thing and him just don't play with fire.
Yeah, but he's certified.
I know,
He's
but
certified to do it. So.
And then
let's
Greensboro's not been good to Darby. He went through a giant plate glass at
yes.
Revolution. He went
Yes,
through
they
fire.
showed that. They showed that too. They showed that
Oh,
clip. Yeah, he's like Darby here in Green, in North Carolina. So,
the nurses love him. Like, oh hey Darby, how are you? I
oh,
love
Yeah,
they know.
that.
right.
Oh yeah, they
Can we get our
100%
picture
know him
taken
by name.
Yeah,
again?
100%.
I thought
Yeah,
he broke his nose when Claudio hit him in the face at one
she
point.
asked that
Yes.
too. She asked that too, and I'm like, I don't think so. I said it was close though. So,
Sorry, Jeff, didn't mean to cut you off.
oh no, you're good. No problem at all. I'll bring up a couple things here. I thought the double swing by Claudio.
That was
I
cool.
enjoyed that. You gotta love that.
Oh, that was pretty
Claudio's
cool.
just a fucking freak, man. That dude, man, he's definitely a mainstay. I thought in this match too. Like you said, the Mox and the fork, I really enjoyed that. Kyle O'Reilly, wow, really getting his dues and getting these callbacks to these Moxley matches he's been having in this build. To kind of elaborate with Rachel, that other failure for Mox. So, he's not a man of his word now.
Hmm.
That's the one thing they said. Hey, we might be whatever, but we, say it the way it is. We do it the way it is. We fight. You bleed with us. You're one of us. This types of things. Well, right now he's not pulling his weight. So I mean, I feel like we have that obvious challenge of leadership going to be coming up. You had Marina even looking super strong and very leaderish in
Mm-hmm.
some ways in the women's match, where now you have Moxley being, the not very resilient leader or setting an example.
And without
So
his Lieutenant Claudio, like, what is he? Because really, Claudio is kind of
Hmm.
like his MVP of the Death
he
Riders
roughs
era.
everybody up. Yeah, he roughs everybody up. He's the physical, the muscle, the brute. Where Wheeler's the hair, you eat the shit, and we come in and try to clean it up. So, but okay, so let's go ahead and go to MVPs of this match. So Emily, who do you got for your MVP? I have a
First of
feeling these are going
all,
to be pretty similar.
Kyle O'Reilly, hands down, like Sky Blue, just can't not give him that. I think that this has really shown him. I think prior to the Death Rider storyline, I thought of Kyle more like a comedic style with the technical with it, but definitely like I see his like not brutality, but I see his main event kind of side coming out. I really enjoy this
Like
side
he's
of Kyle.
blossoming for you.
Yeah, I think that this I know he has it in him. I know he's had that in NXT. I didn't watch that NXT. That
Oh,
wasn't
Ring of
something
Honor
I
as
tuned
well.
Yeah.
into.
Oh yeah, this is Red Dragon Kyle. This is like, yeah, I love it. I'm glad you're seeing it. I love it.
Yeah, this is the
Hmm.
stuff that like I've known he could do, just didn't get to see it. So
He
I'm
was not
excited
comedic
to
when
have
he was
that.
with Red Dragon with Bobby Fish and they were a tag team, because their one of their things was axe and smash. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
didn't fuck around. They came out, they mixed martial arted you, and were very brutal and a lot of kicks and a lot of heavy hits.
Like
So,
I feel like Brian Danielson would have been the perfect. That would have been the perfect trio if you had Brian Danielson, Kyle O'Reilly, and Bobby Fish.
oh
No,
yeah,
no one would have heads, and everyone would be walking around all bruised up from kicks.
oh yeah,
Hmm.
oh yeah, for sure. They'd be
And
kicking heads off.
I also think Claudio definitely was shining through this match. He
Hmm.
always does, but especially not having to go to the top to do the swing and just to be able to do it in the cage. I
Hmm.
think there was so many elements to it. And I hate to give this man some kind of a grace, but this bastard looked fucking
He
huge.
was
He
yoked.
looks
Yeah, you
like
did.
a LJN when he comes out. He straight up looks like an action figure. Like, why is your
He was
head so
jacked.
little? Why are your arms so big? What happened to the rest of you? Like, he is
Also,
all arms.
also,
Like,
did he retire the Black Arrow? I have not seen him hit it since he's come back. I just wanted to point that out.
I think it's because of the new with being with the Death Riders. I think he's trying to do that more physical and get rid of some of that, aerial stuff. I think because it just doesn't maybe come off as strong.
do you guys know the episode of SpongeBob where he blows up the arms and he's got like
Yes.
giant arms and he's just
Yes,
walking around with like
That is
fake
that Bach to
tattoos?
you?
all
That's
veined
Pac.
out and everything else. Okay, I can
That's
see that.
funny.
I can
That's
see
funny.
that. That's nice. So Josh, who you got as your MVPs?
Sticking with Kyle too. Just again, the violent artist. It was nice to see him back. Cause like you, Jeff, I was fortunate enough to see him in Ring of Honor and see him in his NXT run and kind of see what he was capable of. And then just to see him go out there knowing he's had neck issues and just hanging with Moxley, a former world champion, hanging with Claudio, a former world champion, hanging with people in there that he just hasn't really got a chance to lock up with. Him and Pac is a match I did not know I needed to see until I saw Blood and Guts, but that would be a fire
Right.
solo match.
Yes, it would.
I really enjoyed too. I was going to say Orange Cassidy, I think, would be my second MVP because, you know, everyone talks about his sloth style, but when he snapped those sunglasses, I was almost like, fine, I'm gonna fucking try. And like you said, he's jabbing him in the head with it, and he's getting his hand stable, but he's fighting through the pain, he's fighting through the laziness. He saved Kyle O'Reilly, and I think it's kind of an underrated
Hmm.
moment. Kyle's being chained. He's about to get his neck stomped. Roderick's tied
Hmm.
up in the ropes. Orange Cassidy leaps up, takes his hands out, drop kicks, punches. He saves them, and he kind of helps finish the match. So I think that was like an MVP moment for me
Hmm.
because he kind of helped set up the finish. And then Otto mentioned to Roderick Strong and obviously Claudio too, but Roderick Strong just coming out there with fire, like you said, hitting all the backbreakers, hitting those running knees, hitting spots that you didn't think he was going to, and then get poor guy getting meshed by Moxley like right away, just getting cheese grated.
Oh yeah.
And he's got war game experience too.
Hmm.
He's been in four of these, and he was able to utilize. I think him and Kyle kind of helped pace the match, and I think that's why it helped when they were
Hmm.
both in it because they had that experience. And Moxley's been in three of them, and Yuta and Claudio. So I think all of them they
Hmm.
were kind of helped build it. So it picked up towards the end, and I liked the finish. I thought it was cool to give it to Kyle. I agree. I know what Rachel was saying, but I thought it was cool to give it to Kyle, like to give that moment to like, haha, I finally got that win. You didn't get the disqualification this time.
Hey,
You didn't knock out the ref this time. I made your ass tap.
hey, I have been literally the only person in a building cheering for Kyle O'Reilly. I can vouch for that, and she can too. Because when we saw, I think it was Kyle O'Reilly versus Darby in Vegas at Double or Nothing 22 or 3. I can't remember which one we went to, but I think it was their match, and I
Hmm.
was the only one cheering. He won, and I was ecstatic because nobody else. But like you said, I'm the same way. But Rachel, who you got?
Of course, Sky Blue. But
No, this is the men's.
okay, so the men's.
So nice as
Um,
twice.
I mean, hey,
that is
she's
correct.
awesome. Don't get me wrong. She had a great night.
I thought Darby did really well. Kyle O'Reilly, he does get it. He was all bloodied up and, then was flipping people off, and you got to see a different side of him. So he did a really good job. Orange Cassidy did as well. I just want to see what's coming up with Moxley.
Hmm.
Something's happening with
Oh
that
yeah,
man.
that's been a big
So
storyline. Yep.
yeah, I want to see what's going on with that. But I say Kyle O'Reilly.
I'm along with everybody else in a lot of these. I thought Kyle O'Reilly definitely was one of the main ones, and I was very happy for it as well because, kind of going to Emily's comment, he hasn't had a place or that role or what is his spot in AEW, so to speak, and that's why he does have a good sense of humor and all that, but that's not really how he is. He wasn't like that in NXT. The only thing he really did that was goofy was he always did the title belt air guitar with the title belt and shit, which is I love it. But that was one of the really goofy things he ever did, like more NXT and all Ring of Honor. He was definitely a lot more of that serious, straight up, didn't give up, was, an animal, a Spartan type thing, was had good conditioning, has good, submission technique and that like Muay Thai and that type of stuff. So I was really happy for him to get his moment because I feel like he deserves it. And coming back from injury, he was in a big spotlight there briefly whenever they all came over, and then and Cole gets hurt, this and that.
Yeah,
Bobby Fish is out, you know what I mean? It kind of left him the man high and dry because I don't think Roddy was there at the time yet
And
when those three first came.
it comes full circle because when we went to Revolution in Greensboro, that's when Kyle O'Reilly made his return, and
Hmm.
he confronted Roderick. So it was kind of cool to see that come full circle. That we got to
Hmm.
see him return from his neck injury, then we got to see him win Blood and Guts. Like I thought, to me, that's what was like. Oh, that's such a cool moment. Like you said, he got that moment.
So I thought it
yeah,
was really great that it was good to see Kyle have this push. Looks like it's coming, so I'm very happy for that. I will also go with you, Josh, on the Gabe Kidd appearance. I didn't know if it would happen because I didn't think he kind of was phased out of the story in certain ways maybe at the time. So I thought that was a good addition to it to kind of keep him relevant, and that way he can make further appearance or anything else. So,
We
but
forgot to talk about our favorite father.
oh,
Mark
that's true.
Briscoe almost didn't compete in this.
Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about that
yeah.
already.
We did talk about that. Did I
Oh
black
yeah.
out?
Well,
Yeah,
we got that early on just because it was one of the, you know, early things is he couldn't go out. So then when he did the Roddy,
Yeah.
JK, JK.
oh no, you're good, you're good. Hey, I'm trying to keep up with some of it too, and remember.
Another thing I think would be really cool to see would be a maybe like how Orange tries, right? So he comes out when he like tries and matches when he gets like, he's had enough. I would love to see a Blood Orange run. Give us like grudge match Orange Cassidy where he just like brutalizes people. He doesn't need to be the one bleeding. Give us a Blood
well,
Orange
he'd have to be
run.
full heel for that.
Let's
Well,
happen.
like have the guy where he's like, well, now I've been in blood and guts, so now I'm like violent type thing. Is that what you mean? Now,
Yeah,
well,
like
since
he
I
really
did it
likes
once,
this.
now I like it, so I'm keeping that chain in my backpack
I'm the
type thing.
juicer.
Oh Jesus!
I'm gonna give you
The
some juice.
juicer.
That's what he's gonna give you. So I guess we'll go any kind of final takeaways or anything maybe you forgot or anything else, or just your overall take on the entire show. So Emily, let's start with you. Let's go around everybody and find that out. Did you forget anything? Maybe something you thought of, from everybody talking, or
Obviously I blacked out during Mark Briscoe, but I think that
You mean, just say space did blacked out sounds like you have a drinking problem or something.
Ladies and gentlemen, we just want to clarify on this episode that Emily does not have an
No.
alcohol or drinking problem. So thank you.
um I think that a lot of the women's history was built in this match alone. I think that their stories are going to develop. I'm just like in awe of everything that they were able to do. And how incredible is it? Again, like crawling out of those tunnels. That is just straight up incredible.
Mhm,
When have we, again, we've never seen that. We've seen plenty of war games, we've seen plenty
mhm.
of these blood and guts matches. We've yet to see something where they utilize the cage to that degree. Earlier, before we got on air, Jeff was asking who our MVPs were, and I was like, the cage. They utilized this cage so well. Darby was thrown into it multiple times. You had somebody else like kind of fall and get stuck in there.
It was Darby.
No, there
Couple
was another
people.
one too in the women's
Tekla
match.
Oh,
Tekla did. She was the one that kind of slid down with her, and of course, she, she's so super bendy, so she was literally bent in half.
Yeah, like lawn chaired.
Yeah, yep, she was.
So I just really think that this was revolutionary as far as both matches were concerned. It was different than any other blood and guts we had seen. I think that the top of the cage was utilized, but not overly done like we've seen in
Hmm.
the past. As much as I thought Mark was going over the edge, it didn't happen, so that was
I know.
good.
I had to explain to her. Listen, there's one table. Nobody's going off with one
I
table.
was like, they're
Nope.
It
not
would be
right. They
multiple
wouldn't,
Oh
tables.
right?
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was like,
Exactly.
the tables break their fall. So if it's one table, it's gonna be from like apron level height. If it's
Right.
gonna be higher than apron level height, it's like 3 or 4.
Oh yeah.
I just think
So is
back to
that your
like
match of the night, Emily? Then the women's.
The
Was
women's
that be your match of
100%.
the night? Okay.
Before
Gotcha.
we went in, while I was at the heels table, someone had asked Aubrey if the women were the main event, and she said no, but it's better this way. So I
Yep.
mentally had prepared for
Highlight
that
of the night.
anyways, but it was better. It was better.
I call it the highlight match. When you're the opening match, that's the highlight of the night match. So
and
that's just as good.
I think it
So
was good because it gave them a time because they went. I know Wikipedia says 46 minutes, but I kind of clocked it at a little about 50ish minutes. Both went about
okay.
50. I don't know if Wikipedia just went like from the
Round it
second the
up.
two people in, but I went from when the first entrance started, and I got about 50ish minutes for each of them. So I like that. They got their full time. No one got time cut. I
Hmm.
was a little worried about when they said the women were opening that. Oh, I hope they don't get anything cut. Like I hope it's not that. But Aubrey had a shirt, Emily, it's so they don't get anything cut. So I felt better because I didn't think Aubrey was going to lie to a table full of woman heels fans about the women's match. So I felt confident and
And a fellow
obviously,
cruiser, because Aubrey's a cruiser too. So we've all met her many times.
absolutely. And I just too was like felt and I kind of kept it close to this because I figured if we said anything it might be divisive like, oh, why aren't they main eventing, and I
Uh
was like, we'll
huh.
let the show speak for itself because it's not our place to
Yep.
say that. But I would say Meltzer, I said this earlier, Meltzer rated it 4.5 for the women's and 5 for the men's, and I think he got it wrong. I think the women's was a 5-star match. I think the men's was maybe 4 stars, and that's because
Or two, maybe. Yeah.
the men took a little while to kind of get going, and
Hmm.
I don't feel like the storytelling was as well. It was, they had storytelling, but it wasn't as predominant. The
Hmm.
women's, Emily said it earlier, you guys said it earlier. The way they had everyone come out, everyone had a story. Harley had beef with, actually everyone had beef with Mercedes, but you had the Triangle of Madness. You had everyone kind of calling back spots. Willow and Statlander. Emily was so crushed. You had Willow and Statlander standing across the ring, and everybody's chanting, hug it out, including Emily,
Right.
hug it out. And they get shoved into each other, just delaying that
Hmm.
moment because when it happens, it'll be special.
Yep.
And I think because of those moments, it makes the women's match of the night for me. But I'm gonna give it the 5 star. I think it's the best blood and guts match I've seen. We went back and rewatched them all. That's now my new favorite blood and guts. And I still keep Detroit as number 2, but I'll put the men's 2025 under Detroit. So, but I'm saying the women's blood and guts is my favorite just because it's what War Games is.
It
It's
was
supposed to
ingenuity.
it's supposed to be
Yeah.
It was
two big
smart.
groups that have beef. Everyone has blood feuds with each other. It's supposed to
Hmm.
mean something. And then the surrender. The surrender is what won it for me. How they had to make Tony give up. She didn't want to, but she couldn't
Hmm.
see Mina get hurt. I think it was just good wrestling, good storytelling. good goddamn fucking show.
And they took everybody else out and they utilized Mina and Tony
Yep.
having that. So to be able to take everything out of it and just have the two of them in there, it was just perfect storytelling. But
That
anyways,
was
what do
really
you
good.
guys think?
Go ahead, Rachel. What do you got?
Now, I thought it was a great show. I love the fact that it was the women's first Blood and Guts. I liked all the storylines that they had in that. I thought that went really well, and I would definitely give that a 5 star over it all, more than anything. I actually really liked it. There wasn't any law time, well, except for whenever Steamboat talked, but that it is what it is. You had to have something in that, but I thought it was great. I thought the women did amazing and the men did good. So, yeah.
Yeah. Kind of the same. My match of the night was the women's. It was record setting. It had a lot of. I just thought it was very smart. That's one of the things, intelligent in how they did a lot of things. The something I definitely wanted to bring up that went on some of our stuff from that women's match was that plan of the victory for the Triangle of Madness and all of that, and then the execution of actually doing it. Because yes, they had violence in the match and they showed, that they can do all that, but they also showed, hey, we're intelligent and we're plotting and planning, and now we're more dangerous because now we're doing both. We're
Mhm.
doing the physical and the mental side of this.
Cerebral
So
warfare.
now, yes, because let's be honest, the ladies in the Triangle of Madness are not the biggest of statured ladies or women, whatever. They're not the biggest of stature. They're not the Statlanders, the Willows, the Megan Baines, those type of ladies. These are, a lot more petite in stature, and they need that intelligence to get over on some of these other people that are more physical and whatever. And it also showed a lot of their solidarity in that, hey, we're a group, we're for each other, and all of that. So that was one thing I definitely wanted to bring up from earlier that I kind of forgot.
I
But
love
yeah,
it.
the ladies were the match of the night. I would definitely be the same. I would definitely switch those ratings. The men's would have been, in my opinion, more on that 4.1, 4.2 type of range because it was a very good match. And I agree with you that once you got the experienced men in there, it really started making the match start to make sense and pop off a lot more. And you could see a little bit more of the storylines and that thought out, intelligence, so to speak you know. But overall, yeah, like I said, I thought it was a very good night. It was definitely a pay per view worthy
Yes.
Dynamite show, and like I said, I just thought it was very smart in a lot of different things, which sometimes get very chaotic. And sometimes I like that, but I also do like that smart, planned out structure.
Very
The
methodical.
Yeah, well,
Hmm.
the hangman match in between, just those types of things, that spacing. I do think the Ricky spot we could have did without. I love it that they got him out there because he is a legend, just in general and around that area.
Or
So
maybe a pre-tape backstage and have
Yeah.
FTR and Bonito brawl to the ring.
correct, because it could have been a lot better to help him out and make him look better. Because I just thought that first portion just it kind of hurt my heart a little bit. Like I said, it salvaged it later, but
Right.
but yeah, overall, this is. I mean, what do you got out of overall show? I guess will be one of my final things here. What is your overall rating of this show on a 5 scale? We'll do the old Metzler or Meltzer scale.
5. I think that
5 overall,
it was so quick too. Like we had just sat down. I didn't even take a pre-break. Like it was so fast.
and she's bleeding,
Hmm.
and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
I gotta pee, and she's already bleeding.
like okay, cool. Like I'm not moving from this seat. Cam looks over after the women's match. I got to go to the bathroom. I was like, I'm not moving.
Yeah. Okay, well, Josh, what do you got for us?
I think 4.5 out of 5 stars. Just that the Ricky segment just went a little too long. It was kind of like I was like, come on, get to the blood and guts. Like I'm glad to see it, but
Yeah.
that's the only thing that saved it from being probably like a perfect 5 out of 5. But probably I've been to a few
Maybe
dynamites.
the men's pacing a little bit too on that.
Yeah, that's immense pacing. I've been to a few Dynamite collisions. Probably been my favorite, obviously, because I don't know if it's a gimmick or not. But favorite Dynamite collision, like TV taping I went to, and it's kind of funny because I was telling her on the way back, I'm like, it's so awesome that my two favorite shows that I've seen are in that same venue, seeing Revolution live there and seeing
Right.
Blood and Guts. Like when you guys get to go to Shavitz for Dynasty, seeing one of your favorite shows in Shavitz. Like it's just cool to go somewhere like I know I'm gonna be here for a good time because the last time I wasn't
Yep.
disappointed.
And that's where all of our shows are at, which is the awesomest part. Every AEW show we went to around our area, besides the Peoria one, which we just kind of
Hmm.
did that on a whim, because it was like, well, it's a half hour further, but the tickets were cheap, and it was like, let's go,
Right?
but we love it. So, Rachel, what do you got for us? Give me a rating out of 5.
I'd say 5 for sure.
Ooh, you're
I
going with a
thought,
5 as well.
yeah, I thought it was really good.
Okay. I'm going to be on the same with Josh, and I'm going to cite those 2 issues for myself as well. So I'm going to go with that 4.5, 4.6 range as well. I thought just a couple of those issues, So I'm going to go 4. I'm going to go 4.6 just
I
because
like it.
I'll go a little bit higher because it was a overall great show. You know, it's going to be
I,
hard to top. I think
I think it's like a
Full
nine and a
Gear.
half on Cage Match right now, which is wild.
I'm gonna put
Wow.
a
Yeah.
Yeah.
challenge out to like people listening. If this was your first Blood and Guts to watch live, like you've watched the other ones in the past, but they weren't like live. You didn't have to be at the show, but it was
Hmm.
your
Well,
first
life
one.
that
Let us
changes
know your
everything.
thoughts. Like, how did you feel going into this, and what are the thoughts that you have? Because I know that there are a lot of new AEW fans, and I'm
Hmm.
just so curious. And if you were able to go live, what were your thoughts?
Right.
Like
Well,
it.
here, I'm going to give you guys a chance since we're going to be getting ready to wrap up. So, do you guys have any socials you'd like to pop or any kind of media stuff you'd like to pop right now? Because, like Emily just said, we would definitely love for anybody who has any type of comments to please, send us a comment here at Cruising with Kayfabe. We would love to hear what you have to say. Being it live, like Emily said, was this your first show? Or did you just one of the maybe ones you watched because you knew somebody was going or something like that? We always want to hear what you have to say. We love talking any type of wrestling. So sorry to interrupt you guys, but please share any kind of socials or anything you have.
Definitely, yeah. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and any social at Cruising with Kayfabe. Check out cwkpod.com for all of our links to that as well. They'll love it here. Like Jeff, you just said, throw it in the comment section below in the YouTube video. Throw it a like, throw it in the comment section. Give us a subscribe. We hit one of my favorite numbers today. We hit 420, so I'm pretty happy. So let's
Hell
keep
yeah.
going
Woohoo.
higher and higher because I'm ready to sail on this cruise.
I am too. So, well, without further ado, we want to thank you guys so much for coming on the show today. Like I said, we really wanted to actually get your experiences and talk to you for once. So it's nice to have actually get to bring you guys on and interview you for a change.
I
So,
loved it.
so thanks again, guys, for coming on. And remember, always keep
Keep it
the
kayfabe.